Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. With me, as always, is my counterpart, the itsy bitty ice bath enthusiast. That was hard. That was one of the harder ones. That was rough. And today we have with us one of the participants in the Hyrox Invitational, Rachel Schreiber. Yeah, nailed it. All right. Thank you very much, Rachel.
So, Rachel, I competed also in the same Hyrox event, and you did quite well. I noticed also your run times are really fast. So you have a background in running?
I do, yeah. So before I started CrossFit, I was a collegiate cross country and track and field athlete. So that's kind of where my whole athletic journey began. I then went on to actually be a member of the All Army cross country team. So I kind of continued on running after college and then picked up CrossFit.
So go ahead, Beth.
Yeah. So how did you find that the transition then from being a runner to CrossFit?
It was hard. So, I mean, I first transitioned from like being a collegiate runner to actually optometry school. And I tried to continue on to kind of have something just to deal with the stress of studying and becoming an optometrist and just all that kind of, I needed something to get away. So I kept running and I actually took on marathons, half marathons, and went down that lane for a little bit. But then my body just started to kind of break down. I wasn't doing enough strength training or kind of balancing what I needed to kind of keep my body healthy. So that's when I was kind of dabbled into CrossFit because I didn't really enjoy strength training. So that helped me kind of have a community and people to back me up and kind of hold me accountable. So that's kind of where that transition happened.
So I actually saw you, and this was the thing. I saw you on the presentation of 21.2, I believe it was. And I was like, I mean, you were a beast. You did amazing there, right? You crushed that poor guy. You emasculated him completely. He was dust. I don't know how he's returned. So is he okay?
He is. Okay. I mean, we balance each other out. He's obviously a lot stronger, kind of a whole different realm, and I'm more of kind of have the engine, have the body weight thing. So he crushes me a fair time too.
So I was watching it, right? And we were very impressed. And then I'm like, I know that name. Like, I know that name. And then, like Bethany said, we both were in the Hyrox BCF. I have my fancy shirt, by the way, on today.
Nice. Rocking it. Yes. That means you obviously did well.
Well, I did well for an old dude. Yes. Anyway, so I saw you there. That's where I saw the name from. And I mean, you were pushing Lauren step by step. Like, it wasn't like, so she won, you came second. And it wasn't like a distant thing. It was like, she would be first in a workout, you'd be second, she'd be third. You guys were right there. And I think what kind of threw me, and I think maybe some of the other people who are fans of Hyrox might not realize this, but when they first heard your name, they might have thought, okay, so it's another CrossFit girl. She's going to jump into Hyrox, whoop-de-doo, right? So she's going to push the sled fast. She's going to do the heavy carries and stuff. Great. And then she's going to be a minute and a half slower on the runs. That doesn't seem to be the case with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I am hoping Hyrox is kind of the dream sport. I mean, it's the perfect balance of, yeah, you got to have that CrossFit side and be strong enough, but you also got to be able to run and keep up with those girls who are kind of full-time runners. So I mean, I'm excited to give it a shot. Obviously, the transition from being a runner to CrossFit has changed my body in a lot of ways, but I feel so much stronger and I'm still able to hold those same paces. So I think it's for the best, and I'm really excited.
It's definitely, that's what the sport is built for, actually. It seems to be someone who can move a heavy weight, but they can run fast. And that's why Lauren also has done so well. She is more based out of CrossFit, but she has that extreme ability to run as well. So do you have a Hyrox event slated in your schedule?
So I was supposed to do the one way back before kind of the whole world turned upside down. Some of my teammates went to the one that was in Chicago, but I had kind of a previous commitment. So that was my only one that I was actually kind of interested in. And then this will actually be my first one, this weekend in Dallas. I'm just going straight to the deep end. I'm just going to jump in with, I've heard there's some really big names in the race, and I'm just going to jump right in with them.
Now, are you familiar with all the names that you're up against? Do you know them all?
Yeah, so I mean, I've talked to a few of them. I've reached out on social media, and I've touched base a few times with Lauren And Chandler Smith, who is actually who I train with on a day-to-day basis, kind of has connection with Hunter Sheriff. So touch base a little bit kind of through that connection. And yeah, I mean, I thought they're all super sweet and super welcoming on Instagram and social media. So I'm excited to actually meet them.
It's a game. They're not super sweet. They're mean. They're nasty. They seriously are to get to. Don't fall for it. It's a ploy. Right?
I mean, that's fair, especially with 10K on the line. People are coming for blood.
So here's the thing. Now, being as this is your first Hyrox, how are you preparing for this? Like, your regular training is CrossFit. So have you switched over? Are you doing nonstop wall balls and burpee broad jumps? Like, or are you pretty much just maintaining your standard CrossFit workouts that you normally did and adding more running? How are you preparing?
So I mean, I've done a kind of a just mini mock trial race back in February when I was planning on going to Dallas the first time. And since then, I mean, my main focus right now is CrossFit. I'm a member of the Warrior Fitness team, and that's kind of our main goal. We want to send a team to the CrossFit Games, so we're hoping that happens. Ironically, though, a lot of our training sessions kind of do go hand in hand. We do kind of a longer cardio piece that's anywhere from 60 to 2 hours long every morning. And then we do a lot of kind of longer EMOMs. We do kind of work that engine stuff, and we do a lot of running. So ironically, it's kind of just fit in. And then, I mean, everything that Hyrox does, CrossFit does. So we do the high intensity wall balls, we do the burpees, we do the sleds, we do the lunges. It actually is kind of the perfect complement. So I haven't felt like I needed to adjust that much. That might come to haunt me here in this weekend, but I mean, I feel ready.
All right. So do you think, and I guess this is a very blunt question. Do you think with your preparation and, like I said, given your speed, do you think you have a shot to podium? Do you think you have a chance to cash in on this one?
Yeah, I mean, when I did the mock trial, I ran a 106, and I felt like I didn't even give it my all. So I mean, like I said, it might just walk in there and it was completely over my head. But I mean, yeah, if you're not first, you're last. So I'm hoping to take it all, you know?
Absolutely. And 106, that's serious, because I mean, you're talking like a really good time for one. What's Bethany? Probably about
well, usually podiums are under around 112, 110.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
67. What did she do at the World Championships?
Who's that?
Lauren.
Yeah, I think she's around that time. She's like around
66, 67.
Yeah. So 67 minutes. So I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some horror stories. Don't get me wrong. I did my mock trial like on the assault runner, and everyone's sled is different. I've heard of like crazy things happening to people. One girl said she was a CrossFitter and she couldn't even move the sled. I mean, I've heard some crazy stuff happen. So
well, there's interesting variables with the sled because of the carpet texture. I'm sure people have talked to you about this too, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So shoes make a big difference too. So you don't want really slick shoes because you can't grip the carpets. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what happened to Corinna that one time down in Florida.
Yeah.
You went down there, and I mean, Corinna is
popping off.
So strong, such a machine, and she was like 8 minutes on the sled just because of bad shoes.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
So you might want to ask Corinna what her thoughts are on shoes.
I don't want to wear the shoes she wore. I know. I
know Hunter has a very specific pair of shoes he recommends. He is another one worth checking out.
Yeah.
So do you think this event, like, do you think it favors the CrossFit athlete? So actually, I guess what I'm getting at is, who would you find more of a threat? Are you finding someone like a Corinna or like a Faith, who's a very strong athlete, who's going to obviously destroy its sleds? And well, I shouldn't say that because Corinna had issues, but let's go with Faith, who's going to destroy the sleds and whatnot. Or are you more concerned about someone like Renee, who is, possibly going to be running, sub 4 minute kilometers type thing?
I mean, I would say someone more that has the running dialed in, just because I know that I feel confident in the CrossFit side of things. I mean, I feel like I can hold my own in that side of things. But as far as the running, if someone's going out there and they're running sub 6 miles for the whole time, then I mean, yeah, that's gonna have them that much more time for the CrossFit event, so that could definitely play into it. And then Chandler Smith, I mean, he went out there and I trained with him day in and out. He's a freak and he has a really good engine. He's an endurance athlete. He couldn't hold his own on the running and that held him back. So, I mean, I'm definitely more concerned about the running aspect, even though usually that's something that people see me as kind of the specialty in the CrossFit side of things, but maybe not in the Hyrox side of things. So we'll see how that plays out. But, and then the VCS, I mean, some people were not putting up super impressive times in that. So I'm not sure how people are going to race and how those events are going to affect their run times, but we'll see.
I know the VCF had some good run time. You had a great run time in the VCF. You were second or third on that one, I think.
Yeah, and I did it on an assault runner, which was awful.
Oh my god! No, I've never used an assault runner. Beth, have you been on an assault runner before?
No, only a Hyrox event in a warm-up area. I've never been on one.
Because I mean, I've heard horror stories that like it can be 20% harder than regular running, or I mean, and a lot of it depends on your body type. And I've never used one,
Yeah.
but we really want to try. So I know that the times, for example, at the Elite 12 that they had, where they did not the virtual one, but the Elite 12 they had, and where Hunter and Lauren won that one, they were on assault runners there, and the times were definitely falling off. I mean, Hunter, who's normally doing a 58, 57, was a few minutes slower, and Lauren, I didn't post her exact time, I didn't get it, but it seemed a bit slower. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, wait. I mean, the Dallas race is just on a regular track.
Yeah, you're going to be on flat. You're on a track. Yeah, don't worry.
I mean, I wish it was on assault runners. I feel like that might give me the edge that I need.
Yeah, because I hear if you're a stronger, heavier athlete, like that actually helps a bit compared to like.
I just feel like, yeah, because your body weight kind of like propels it.
See, that's why I need one of those. So that said, so you said you have a 106. You've done a 106. Do you have a finishing time? You think you can hit?
I mean, when I show up in Dallas, I'm not going to focus so much on the clock. I mean, I'm going to be there to race, so I'm going to kind of turn my watch off, not focus on the clock, and just try to stay in the lead of the pack. So that's kind of my game plan.
Okay, so you're going to try the hang at the front, kick at the end, take them on the wall balls.
Yep. That could work.
Honestly, it seems to be the big thing. If you got juice left to do the one wall balls, I mean, not necessarily unbroken like Sam Briggs did, but just very minimal breaks and waste very little time on those wall balls, you can make it up. Like Beth, you've done this event before. How did you find?
Yeah, well, so for me, my advice is to count to 8 properly. So it's funny. It seems really, I don't know if they'll lay this one out a little bit better, but it seems like it shouldn't be an issue, but they laid the workout stations out on the floor a little bit scattered. So unless you were literally side by side with someone the whole time, and when you're in that race mode and your brain is full of lactic, it was really easy to mess up the order. And there was actually a lot of people that messed up the order of the workout stations when I was there. Even the girl who ended up second, but then it wasn't second, she messed up the laps because you're doing a 2-lap 500 meter, right? So even sometimes you forget which lap you're on. Yeah, so to actually take a few extra seconds and try to make sure you're going to the right place. But yeah, so when I did it, I messed up the order of 2 of the workout stations, and it mentally just kind of like put me out of it. So I would say like the few events that were after that weren't like, I wasn't giving it my all. So I did not do the wall balls unbroken. Kind of lost my juice. Yeah.
Well, and you're right. Both, I think it was Rebecca Hammond and Hunter, have done extra laps in events.
Oh my God.
Because they, and actually, I think it was, I could be mistaken on this, so don't quote me, but I believe it was the one where Hunter went against Chandler and Jacob.
Yeah.
And finished right at the line. I think Hunter actually ran one extra 500 meter lap in that event. So, I mean, it was.
But Rebecca did one less, but then made it up.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very easy to do, and definitely, and I get on my horse about this. I don't know why they didn't pick 400 meters. Pick 400 meters; it works better. But that's on a regular track, right?
Yeah, seriously.
So
Oh man.
you're the military team that you're part of. Sorry, and what's the name of it? What name does it go by again?
It's the U.S. Army Warrior Fitness Team. It's kind of a mouthful.
So you guys predominantly focus on CrossFit.
So functional fitness, but yeah, our main sport is CrossFit, and then we also have a strong men, strong women team.
That's right. Is there any thoughts of actually making more of a Hyrox focused version of that
I
team?
mean, potentially, yeah. I mean, we actually have just recently kind of made the team a little bit larger to include some of the OCR racers, some people that have those impressive times in the military that could potentially join our team and train alongside us. It's still a very new team and kind of a lot still has to be figured out for it, but that definitely is something that they are interested in the future. So hopefully.
That's cool. And I didn't realize you guys were starting like a bit of an OCR team as well. That's like, because that's really our background. Well, that's really her background. I'm just a guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have an all army side of that, so we can't really step on their toes when it comes to that. But Hyrox specifically, and some of, I think that all army team might be just Spartan focused. I'm not exactly sure, but that hopefully we can kind of tap into that realm because I feel like that could be a really cool new niche.
Yeah, because with Hyrox also there's the pairs, so you can have a team of two
Same sex?
or mixed. Yeah.
Oh, mixed. Very cool. Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch anyways.
So then with its guy girl, I mean, you could only go as fast as you have to run all the laps together.
Yeah, you have to be within 5 meters of them on the run, and then you can break up the workout stations however you want. And the weights are the same as the pro women do.
Got it. Oh yeah, that could be something really fun to do with. That would be really fun.
Yeah.
I like that. I still like the idea of the tag team version that they don't do. Excuse me. I would we talked about this many times before, especially with one of our Carolyn Prevost, who we've talked to quite a few times from CrossFit. Where we'd love to see a situation where you could tag, where you could have someone dedicated to the run and someone dedicated to the workouts, and have a tag team kind of thing. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Got to point that stuff out every now and again because people from Hyrox actually do watch this. I keep complaining enough and you know, whining, eventually something might happen.
Even for a showcase thing, just for fun, to see how fast you could do a Hyrox event if you had a specialist on each side.
Yeah, they would probably knock those times way out of the park.
Yeah.
Well, could you imagine, like, even the runners just sitting there getting at, like, you know, 3 4 minutes rest before they bang out another 1K interval?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, honestly, I'm really excited to see you there, and I was really glad to hear you're in it, and very surprised. Now, I am curious about one thing. The process you got invited. Obviously, you weren't in the original one that was going to happen back in February. Mm-hmm. Did you get invited through your qualification for the VCF, or was this because, like you say, through Hunter and Lauren with your connections with Chandler and whatnot?
So through the VCF, I mean, when they said, hey, top 3 in the VCF are going to Dallas, I was like, you know, I want to earn my ride. I want to see if I even belong in this race before I kind of jump in. So I was like, I'm going to do the VCF, give it my all, and hope for the best. And it worked out in my favor. So super excited. I was just going to do the regular pro race when it was first scheduled. So
you were going anyway?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm glad. I do have one other question, I guess. So the VCF, that was your first Hyrox virtual competition, right?
I actually did the body weight one. I was kind of on vacation that week. We had just finished like a week back to back weeks of CrossFit competitions, and I did it in my swimsuit, hanging out in Utah, and I just jumped in on the body weight ones, and it was actually really fun. I mean, I was surprised at how hard those workouts were with zero equipment. I was like, wow, like my legs are burning, my lungs are burning. This is really cool. And that's when I was like, you know, Hyrox might be kind of legit. Like.
So how did you find the VCF, even one or two, both of them, compared to the CrossFit Open, obviously? Because I know you just did the CrossFit Open and you did very well on there.
Yeah. It's very different.
Yeah,
very different. Hyrox is definitely lighter weights, higher reps, kind of longer workouts, whereas CrossFit just has a different stimulus, I would feel. feel like. But I mean, I love both. They're both kind of have their own specialty and their own kind of mix there.
I was just wondering if you found like, how do you say, just the setup being different. I mean, the CrossFit one obviously is so huge with hundreds of thousands of participants, whereas, you know, Hyrox is, you know, obviously much smaller. Even, and again, something a little pet peeve of mine with the judging and stuff like that. So I was just wondering if you had any experience with that and if that went all right for you.
Yeah, I was actually super impressed with the judging side of Hyrox. I know it is kind of smaller, but they were very particular. They watched all the videos. I mean, I got a lot of different penalties. I mean, I'm new to sport, but they were so on top of it. They emailed me back, whereas CrossFit definitely lacks in that side of things. I mean, maybe it is because Hyrox is smaller and they can go through that process, or maybe they're just doing a much better job at it. Because I've heard a lot of things kind of do slip through the cracks in CrossFit. And that is something that people do complain about a lot.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to say something to people out there, and just like I said, thank you for coming by, Rachel. If you want to do Hyrox like Rachel, probably not against her, because this contest is going to end after that. We're going to be giving away a entrance to a Hyrox event of your choice anywhere in the world, and I think we'll start the contest probably right after we air this. I haven't even figured out how we're going to do it yet, but we'll set up a nice contest. You get a chance, free entry to any Hyrox anywhere in the world on behalf of OFX and Hyrox, who generously donated the entry. And you get a chance to see how your time will stack up against Rachel's after she wins the Hyrox Invitational of $10,000. And I'm pretty sure that if you win that, she'll take you for a cup of coffee or something like that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, do you have anything else, Beth?
No, I don't. It's good. Yeah, but thanks so much, Rachel, for joining us. All the best this weekend in Dallas. Get out there and crush it. Good luck, and thank you for giving us some awesome things to talk about.
Yeah, thank you, Dave and Bethany. It was so good to finally put a face to a name, and it was good chatting with you guys.